Ronnie Vernick gives us an update about the UFOs in the Amazon and a whole lot more. So it's time for another UFO News Roundup. Get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Yeah, so I've been covering Ronnie's investigation into the UFO flap in the Amazon since he started doing this, and now he has come back from the Amazon and he is opening up about his discoveries. Here he is on Ross Coulthart, News Nation, talking about it.
What are they describing? Give me have any of them seen objects or entities?
Most of time they're describing an orange or yellow sphere, a golden sphere, like a ball of fire, that descends near the ground, near the houses. And most of the time, these ball of fires are on top of their houses, on top of the roof of the houses, very, very low, like observing them, like staring at them. And when they even think to point, oh my God, this ball of fire is gone. It's like most of them say to me, it's like it was able to perceive what was thinking at the moment. Because when I was thinking to point, the ball of fire was gone. So this was the most common witness there.
That is incredible. He goes on. It's an hour-long interview, but I do want to play a few more portions of it, go through it a little bit more because it's really, really fascinating. And also, I love the screen grab of Ross.
Did you see those anomalous orange yellowy balls?
Yes. The first observation was on a fair, not far, not too close, but a far orange, blinking. It was blinking a very strong orange and a very strong yellow. It was going around, literally around all the village. So we observed like at 36 degrees, this object always in the level of the trees. It's important to say that it's not something that was far away in the space, far away in the air. These lights are at the maximum at the top of the tree level. It's the height that they fly there. So it was going around all the village, almost a 360 around the village, and entered inside the forest. And this was the first photo that I took with my equipment.
Okay,
So
that's
what we're
incredible. That is fantastic. And there's more. Ronnie says thousands of sensor data points from the Amazon's indigenous village UAP monitoring station are already on the cloud being processed and analyzed and can show us important physical characteristics of the phenomenon. Here is actually a video of the UFO itself, of one of the UFOs. Check it out. Look at that. Look at that. What? That is wild. That is wild. And, I'm assuming that this isn't the camera shaking, that this is actually the UFO making this maneuver. An incredible, anomalous maneuver of this object. Clearly not a balloon, not a seagull, not a raccoon, McWest. But a really, really fantastic capture of what is probably very likely a genuine UFO, one of those that is gripping the Amazon. And he goes on, he says, during my mission in Amazon, I witnessed 4 types of phenomena. Type 1, poltergeist activity. Sounds of heavy furniture against ground, sounds of people walking on forest, lamps blinking, battery drainage, radio communications, smartphone freezing, camera shut down. All classic, ghosty, phenomena. Type 2, blinking orange spheres. A 2 parts object that blink a huge orange light and flew low until it enters the forest, around 2 meters in diameter. Type 3, steady orange sphere. You have the blinking orange spheres and you have the steady orange sphere. A continuous orange to red light like a ball of fire that flew low until it enters the forest, around 1 meter in diameter. Interesting. So the steady ones are smaller than the blinking ones, Really interesting that he's able to, compare the two. The fifth type was not witnessed in person but recorded in multiple equipment. Types 2, 3, and 4 also recorded. Type 5, a luminous entity with humming sound that illuminates the area and projects another oval-shaped UAP near the ground. Silence nature before disappears. So nature just goes quiet. Really, really fascinating stuff, Ronnie. I love it. I can't wait to learn more about his investigation and what they were able to find in the Amazon. I will be following this story closely, and if you see it before I do, let me know. I want to see a picture of this entity. What are the odds, right? What are the odds? Meanwhile, speaking of cool stuff, Carl the Crusher says, I am happy to announce the new discovery of ancient petroglyphs up on Skinwalker Ranch Canyon this week. Thanks to the trust and support of Brandon Fugel and the team, an entire new panel of petroglyphs were found. Also, previously discovered petroglyphs are actually one of 4 major shaman figures, with more details revealed. And here we go. Here's the pictures of it. That's what it looks like with your naked eye. But you can pick out the details. You can see the details a little bit more clearly there. You can see this figure. You can see the head and the hand and the headdress. And this is a depiction of what, it might actually have looked like back in the day. Is that, I guess that's a shaman with a headdress. I mean, I don't know what that is, but okay, could be a shaman with a headdress. Why not? Here's another rendition of it. Really cool. Looks like a ghost from Ghostbusters. But yeah, he says also previously discovered petroglyphs are actually one of 4 major shaman figures, with more details revealed. I am still putting the findings together properly, but here is a glimpse of the new found petroglyph. A shaman figure standing on an uncoiled serpent line. His head connects to a star above. His fingers are long and connect to a smaller horned figure. This would have been picked using a deer antler and stone to chip the divots out to create the scene. Okay, I'm looking for the horn figure. Is that the horn figure, I guess? His hand is connecting to this figure that's Carl was saying is a horn figure. Really fascinating. I'm so glad they found that. Is this a common depiction of a shaman for those of you who are familiar with petroglyphs? Is this how shamans are depicted in the ancient world? Let me know. I am certainly not conversant on any of that. Meanwhile, other weird news. Now, this gentleman was using welding goggles. And I have to mute it because there's music. But he was using welding goggles to look at the sun, and he saw what he believes is unusual blinking from the sun, and he was even able to time it every 4 seconds. That it grows brighter. It pulses, and there's I think a pulse right there. And then every 4 seconds, supposedly, there's another pulse. But I will link to this, and you can stare at the sun on the video. On the video, don't stare at the sun. This guy was using welding goggles. But yeah, there you saw a flash, I think, right there. And he thinks that something's going on with the sun, which will tie into another story we'll get to in a minute. So here's a quote from Jim Semivan. Posted by Grant Cameron, who I love Grant Cameron. I had him on the channel. We did a fantastic interview. Grant is just a phenomenon. But he's posting this quote from Jim Semivan, and I'm sure most of you are familiar with Jim Semivan. Very interesting figure, who says, "I have met with people who I know are in the know. One of them told me the truth is indigestible. The truth about the UFO phenomenon and maybe the greater phenomenon is indigestible. It is not something that we are able to fully grasp or entertain. It would be like telling someone about something that they can't do anything about. It is so world-changing and transformational." And I wonder if that's because it's tied in with all the other dimensional, metaphysical sort of stuff. I think it is. I mean, based on my own experience, it absolutely 100% is. the UFO phenomenon, now fascinating in itself, is tied up with all this other stuff. And it's not even like a distinct, subset of what I call the greater phenomenon. It's baked in with all this other stuff. And, once you open that can of worms, it all comes out. It's hard to reveal one thing without revealing other stuff as well. That's why I say that UFO disclosure is also spiritual disclosure, because it's all tied in together, guys. It's all tied in together. Just like with the Ronnie Vernon case, right? The case of the Amazon. They're having UFOs, they're having poltergeist. Like with Las Vegas, they had UFOs, they had poltergeist. And there was, positive, many positive examples as well. Those sound like those are negative experiences, but there's many positive examples like my own. Interesting quote from Jim Semivan. Meanwhile, just a reminder that we have a sunken city off the coast of Cuba and nobody is doing anything about it. Why is nobody studying this remarkable city? This is not an actual picture of it. This is a computer-generated picture based on the sonar findings of this incredible lost sunken city off of Cuba. But because it's off of Cuba, nobody is studying it. And it's just such a shame because this looks fantastic. Look at this, guys. I don't think this is Atlantis, but this is certainly interesting. I mean, this is possibly a preserved city of the Incas or the Aztecs, somebody like that. Mayans, I don't know. But, this is possibly a very well-preserved city, maybe our only really well-preserved city of those cultures. And it's just sitting there under the Amazon. And of course, I believe those cultures are probably in contact with beings. So who knows what they would find if they explored that city. We need to get down there, guys. We need to get down there. Meanwhile, this is really interesting. On Skinwalker Ranch, a bunch of drones malfunctioned. And could that have been caused by the researchers themselves talking about such an event happening? This is wild, guys. Check it out. I love David Heath's breakdowns of these things. This is from this interview. So here we go. Did two of the Skinwalker Ranch team prompt the spectacular crashing of nearly $500,000 worth of drones? The night before the experiment, flying 1,000 drones above the ranch, principal investigator Eric Bard and Thomas Winterton jokingly goaded the Skinwalker entity. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. So the night before this disaster of the drones, they were talking about this stuff. Eric said, "We were describing what we pictured in our minds as drones falling out of the sky and bursting into flames. We have this picture of mayhem, We were constructing the story. Why would we do that?" Thomas Winterston said, "We were framing it like, Ranch, if you want to get our attention, if you want to press us, like this is what it would take." Eric Bard said, "I'd be lying if I told you that was the first time we had such a conversation followed by an unusual outcome." And 4A, okay, I'm reading David Heath's breakdown here. The number 108, drone number 108, one of very few with Eric's personal GPS tracker on it, flew under the tent where Thomas was working, so he took his jacket off and swatted it to the ground. Eric said, "You'll actually find that there is a relationship between the number 108 and some other very interesting mathematical constructs with history attached to them." Now, this isn't the first time we've heard about people talking about stuff and thinking about stuff, and then the ranch responding. This is the enclosure, the little shed where those cattle were found back when the Shermans or the Gormans owned the ranch. They had been talking previously about, well, what would happen if something happened to their prized cattle? And then they couldn't find them. The cattle vanished and then found stuffed, multiple, I think 4 of them in this tiny shed. It's not a big shed. That's what it looks like. Yeah, and it is, they found them stuffed kind of in this weird trance-like state. It's a really strange encounter, but it seems like the ranch was responding to their fears of losing their cattle and kind of messing with them. A really weird, scary story. But I guess at least the phenomenon behind whatever's going on at the ranch didn't kill those cattle. So that's something. I mean, if it was a really malicious phenomenon, it would have just killed the cattle, right? You're afraid of losing the cattle? Well, you've lost the cattle. So it didn't do that. It was just kind of playing with them. It was weird. Meanwhile, can the government classify science? Yes. Yes, apparently they can. This is Mark Andreessen and Ben Horowitz. They say that they met White House officials to discuss artificial intelligence. The officials said they could classify any area of math they think is leading in a bad direction to make it a state secret, and it will end if they felt that way.
In our meeting with the White House on AI policy was, look, there are going to be issues that come from AI, but they should be regulated. The regulation should happen at the application level, not at the technology level.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is basically because, like, to regulate math, right, mm-hmm. at the level of the algorithms, like to regulate linear.
And he argued with me when I said that.
Well, yes. So Ben basically said, look, it doesn't make sense because to regulate AI at the technology level, you're regulating math, and of course we're not going to do that. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And you'll recall that what they said was, no, actually,
we can classify math.
We can classify math, and literally, this is verbatim. We classified whole entire areas of physics in the nuclear era and made them state secrets, like of the like theoretical
physics,
science of physics. We classified them and made them state secrets, and that research vanished. And we are absolutely capable of doing that again for AI. We will classify.
So why is this relevant? Well, I mean, if they can classify physics, if they can classify math, what are the implications of that with UFO stuff or free energy or any of that sort of technology? I would assume that since this started with the nuclear secrets, that, if UFO secrecy is tied up with nuclear secrecy as well, there's obviously a connection there. So if they're classifying nuclear physics, why not UFO physics as well? It makes sense. At this point, I'm thinking that it's very likely that that's happened. And also free energy and that sort of thing might be connected as well. But very scary that the government can classify physics, guys. They can classify math. That's insane, guys. That's insane. Okay, I told you I would get back to the story about the sun. Well, a couple of days ago, concerned citizen said this: Schumer residence chart went crazy yesterday, and I think that was Wednesday night. Did you have trouble sleeping last night or have ringing ears? I showed you the weird sun going crazy, or at least seeming to pulse in timed intervals, like every 4 seconds. Around that same time, the Schumer residence was going nuts. What's up with that, guys? I'm not a big Schumann resonance aficionado. I'm not really into all that. But it's interesting that that's happening right when that one guy is seeing the sun pulse in 4-second intervals. I don't know what to make of that, but let me know your theories in the comments below. Meanwhile, a cool UFO sighting from Peter Maxwell Slattery from his Jaya Sanctuary in Australia. He does these C5 events, and he gets, great activity, including this beautiful orb here, just moving majestically through the sky. Really great sighting. But I learned something that I didn't know before. Australia has auroras. Check this out, guys. I wish it wasn't on, this small version so we could see it better. With this brilliant, colorful sky there. But look at that. And this could be like with night vision or something. But still, a beautiful aurora australis from Jaya Sanctuary. I love it, guys. Beautiful stuff. Look at that. But let me know what you think about it all in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. Smash the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, links below. Love to see you guys there. If you want to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below. Or heck, one of my books. There's a link below to that as well. Or you can become a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.